Welcome to StillTalkin.com, Season 3, Episode 28, Todd, on a Monday afternoon after a win, baby. I always like being after a win.
Nothing better, man, than Victory Monday. Nothing better.
Yes. Victory Monday. So, it was Canada, huh?
You know, like everything else in this life, Rob, you can point the finger at one person or one situation all you want, but anybody that's involved in it knows it's always about layers. It's never just one thing, but certainly Canada seemed to bring some kind of a gloom or a malaise over the team. Maybe it was his personality. Maybe it truly was just his play calling, but yeah, there was never any energy involved with anything that Matt Canada was behind.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hear stuff now that he's kind of gone, like his, like you said, his personality was kind of terse, you know, which don't breed like togetherness. You know what I mean? Play calling was not very good.
No, that's a fact.
And I'm just going by what I saw on the sidelines. The sidelines looked a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm going to just say active.
Yeah,
people
friendly.
Were engaged.
Guys are talking to each other after the thing. They not just going to sit down and looking numb, right? They talking to each other. Hey, what'd you see here? That's what you want to see. You don't want to see guys like just separating, just sitting there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not a good look.
It's not. It starts, first of all, with not being a good look. And then what's behind the look.
Right.
But yeah, you gotta, I mean, you know, Rob, again, at least you were fortunate enough to play the game on a certain level. But to me, I look at football really still like a job, especially at a professional level.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. But you have to enjoy, to some level, you have to enjoy what you're doing and who you're doing it with. If you get to that point where you can't say yes to those things, then either you or the people around you are going to have to make a change.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how I look at it.
I agree. Man, but what about Diontae, man? Now, Diontae is still looking, I don't know why he's still in his feelings. You see what I'm saying? What he did was a real bad look. It was just a bad look.
Again, all you have to do, I mean, inside of you, just getting into psychology here, I mean, okay, you can not be happy. You can be frustrated. You can be depressed. I don't want to use that word, but you're just not yourself. Now, you can keep that inside and not let people see that, or basically you can do what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I know he's upset that he doesn't have the touchdown catches that he used to have before Pickett and Canada showed up. He was productive with TDs. Now, that's not the case. And my God, you take touchdown catches away from wide receivers nowadays, you can just pretty much lose them. And I'm hoping that's not what it's coming to. But again, every time he has an opportunity to project himself in a different light, a positive light, he chooses to do the opposite. And that's what's frustrating to me as a fan.
Yeah. He on the edge because I can't see the organization dealing with much of that.
I hope not, Rob. I mean, again, if we're going to hold, some people to a certain standard, then I think, all the other players should be held to that standard as well. And I mean, I'm not saying him and Chase Claypool are alike, because they're not. But you see what happened with Chase. You can go back and look at over time. Any player, San
AB.
Antonio Holmes. I mean,
Yeah.
we can go on and on. Antonio Brown, obviously, at the end. I don't know where that fine line is between being the guy that you are, that overly competitive guy that wants to succeed. He doesn't want to fail. Yet
Right.
when you come across something that is not giving you success, you start acting differently. You know,
I
I don't
think
know.
I think wide receivers always had that. The thing is, the younger generation, they show it. You look at Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin, them guys, if they had a real problem, they didn't let it affect their play, for one,
Right.
and they kept it in-house. Because you never hear, and they didn't let it affect their play as far as giving effort. I mean, that's the minimum. Effort, being engaged. I don't care what you got going on in your life. To get on that field, you can't let outside circumstances on the field like that. One, you can get yourself hurt.
Yeah.
Two, it just look bad. You can be out of job.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my take on it. Let's move on to offense, Todd. Huh?
Let's do it.
Man, let's get on something a little bit brighter to talk about. I like that. Offense looked good, man. 422 total yards.
Yeah.
First time in a coon's
5
age.
years, Rob. 5 years, Rob. They went 58 games in a row. Rob, that's almost 4 complete seasons.
Wow.
I mean, think about it, Rob. How many really bad teams there are in this league?
Yeah.
And all of those teams accomplished that.
I've done that.
Not just once, but multiple times.
Right.
But this team couldn't do it one time in 58 games.
Yeah, that's damning on your offensive coordinator, for one.
It is.
Man. And but at least we got that out of our way. And the offense looked very good. Kenny P, to me, played his best game ever in a Steeler uniform.
I don't know if I would go that far, Rob, but I definitely would say this is his best game this year, for sure.
Yeah.
I'd have to give that some thought, but certainly this year, yes, definitely the best game. Not just, again, from the obvious stuff like yardage, that he threw for, that just speaks for itself. And of course, he's not been throwing TD, so that's just
right.
Not throwing interceptions. So that's just a continuation of that. But yeah, also not throwing TDs. I mean, Here we are. My God, Rob, we have gone through 11 games. 11. The man has thrown 6 touchdown passes. I mean, again, I would think a blind man literally could throw more than 6 touchdown passes
in this league,
11 games.
Yeah.
I mean, you just should be able to stumble into more than that. that just tells you either how rigid that offensive game plan was.
Mm-hmm.
People were talking early on about how Kenny P didn't have the ability to audible out of plays.
Yeah.
And he was pretty much stuck with what's ever called. I'm starting to believe that definitely was the case, and that they gave him a core group of 20 or 30 plays, and they just rotated them throughout the game.
Man,
I
was very happy because he looked like preseason Kenny. He was standing in the pocket, climbing the pocket, making the throws down the field instead of doing that whirly dervish spin out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he looked a lot more comfortable. He looked more decisive. He looked way more accurate than he's been all year.
Yeah.
He missed a couple of throws, but it ain't like he missed a lot. So, man, I was thoroughly surprised because we need him to have that type of game and have those type of games for us to win.
I mean, no doubt. All offenses in this league they all start with the quarterback. And so, he's just got to be much better. I know he knows that. I'm sure the coaching staff is, let him know that, not only are we counting on you to do more and everybody else that you work with. So it is a team effort, but it truly does start with the quarterback. But yeah, Rob, look, you're right. Having Freiermuth back was just absolutely huge. I'm starting to see Freiermuth and Kenny P remind me, or it's leading and trending in this direction like it is for Lamar and Mark Andrews. Those guys are tied at the hip. That is Lamar's security blanket. That is what Pat Freiermuth, hopefully, on both sides, they'll be together for a while, and it'll be that kind of a relationship, which is, again, another reason why it was huge to get the Muth back. We see what a difference it made, just in one game. I know he was back last week, but that was his first game, and you knew coming off a hamstring injury, it's still some conditioning issues probably to work out. They kind of eased him back into it, but apparently he was feeling really good because he was striding, right through the middle of the field. And, we've opened up that part of the field finally. If that can continue, that's what I would say, that what will make me very optimistic about this team's immediate future, i.e. making the playoffs and doing something in the playoffs, is to me is that factor right there.
Yeah.
Accessing that third of the middle of the field that we've avoided like it's the plague all season long. And they got to find a way to get other guys the ball, not just Freiermuth, but Washington, Connor Hayward, even Rodney Williams. I mean, you can mix it up a little bit. You gotta use that part of the field, and you got to get defenses guessing a little bit. What are they going to do? And that certainly has not happened up until this point.
Well, one good thing is this is, I think, the third game of the running game being over 150 something yards.
Either third or maybe even fourth, Rob.
Maybe fourth.
But yes, it's a nice. We're heading in a nice direction in regards to that part of the offense.
And Najee is starting to look like a number one draft pick. The way he's starting to run to his size, right? To his advantage. That's his advantage on the field, his size and his power, right?
Absolutely.
Not his elusiveness.
Run angry.
Not his elusiveness.
Yeah.
One thing that I saw when he got on the sideline, instead of trying to jump over the guy, he ran through the guy.
He did.
So I saw that. That one play where they was bottled up and some kind of way he squirted out of there. I don't know how he did that.
I mean, he didn't just go down. He just
Yeah.
He
refused to go down on the first guy. Man, it was just good to see that. Man, good to see that. That's how we need that 1-2 punch to work.
Yeah.
Now you match that with Jalen's elusiveness. When he get in, those guys gonna be like, man, now we got to chase this guy. You know what I mean? After getting hit in the mouth. So that's how you want that 1-2 punch. Everybody's like, they want Jalen and Najee. No, it's a combo package, right, Todd? You know when you go to Whataburger and you get you the big Whataburger, double meat.
I used to know what that was
Najee,
like, Rob.
Double meat. Then you come and get that large or the extra large side of fries to go with it. That's Jalen. So it's a 1-2. That's a combo package, baby.
I mean, we saw. I'm sure again, a lot of fans saw the potential, Rob, in that duo come in based on what happened at the back half of last year.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fans were excited about the potential of that 1-2 punch. And unfortunately, again, the team just hit a wall right out of the gate.
Right.
And really just couldn't get much going, much traction. Then got the confidence issues and then the coaching issues. And it seems like just one game, but it seems like they're trending in the right direction. But like you were saying last week, looking further ahead, if we got past Cincinnati, which of course they did, is these next 3 games. I think, I feel fairly confident saying we're going to know who this team is, what their identity is after these next 3 games. So we got Arizona, we got New England, and then of course we got Indianapolis.
Yep.
And I think either one of us can sit here and fairly confidently predict what's going to happen in the last 3 games of the season based on what takes place here in the next few weeks. So I am very much looking forward to that. And hopefully they can, again, continue the momentum that they've been building here these last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. What do you think, before we get off the offense, Todd, what do you think about Eddie Faulkner and Mike Sullivan job they did, man? What do you think? They did the dynamic of how they got Faulkner as the OC and Sullivan calling the plays. That's a different dynamic. I don't think I've seen that in an NFL.
No, certainly not for an extended period of time. Now, I mean, maybe a coach is sick one day and, you got to mix it up differently. But yeah, to say, come out of the gate saying, this is how we're going to do it, and that it's going to be a 2-person approach, I would say that is pretty rare. But again, we're not there. But I'm just going to say, based on what our eyes told us, what we saw is players accepting the new roles from the coaches and being engaged with the coaches, listening, taking feedback, giving feedback. And, it seems to be working out. Like you say, I mean, the coaches, they're right there waiting for the players when they come off the field, when the drive is over, whether they scored or didn't score. And, Sullivan's walking around, with Kenny P. I see him, go to the bench and talking to the running backs a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, Faulkner, I mean, with this title of OC, apparently, I mean, he's the person, I guess he's the organization specialist or the really disciplined, or detail guy of the group. And so, they've redone the way they have their team meetings, their position meetings.
Yep.
That's where I think the biggest change, not just the play calling itself, but the lead up to the game and how you prepare for the game. Yeah, I think that might be the biggest part. But again, the proof will be in the pudding here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I kind of like the dynamic. I think the reason Eddie Faulkner got the OC job or the try is because, from what I'm hearing, he's like really good. He's like an up and coming guy. You see what I'm saying? So, like, if they had to switch, he'd find a job pretty easy. You know what I mean? Like, teams, they starting to see him as an up and comer, kind of like Tomlin did. You know what I mean? One thing you said that I was gonna touch on, they changed the way they meet with the players. Coach and these 2 guys met with all of the skill position guys, I think.
Okay.
Right? So everybody's holding each other accountable. They don't have to communicate between 2 or 3 meetings. When you leave this meeting, you know what? We all on the same page. Then we can go have our wide receiver meeting or, into your position meetings. But they met with all the skill position guys, and I think it holds each other accountable. I think it lets everybody in the room see our direction and where we want to go and what we're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah. And you watching film with other guys, they hold each other accountable. Kenny, what you saying? What you seeing? Pat wide open in the middle. Why you didn't see that? See?
Yeah.
And the other players see it, right? So they know everybody's getting held accountable. Everybody. I think the way it's interesting, I knew we was gonna get a jump. I didn't think it was gonna be this big a jump. Which is encouraging.
Just think how much more excited we would be, Rob, if they had converted some of those drives into touchdowns.
The touchdown, I know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that is, I mean, when it's all said and done, I mean, there can truly be improved play, better communication, guys happier in their roles on the team. But if the point production doesn't go up dramatically, I don't think it's going to lead to long-term success. And that's what I think we all want, whether you own the team, you're on the team, you're a coach on the team, or you're fans like you and I and everybody else out there. You're just not going to win in this league scoring 17 or less points a game. They are going to have to find a way. Again, regular season's one thing, okay? You're not playing top-notch opponents. When you get to the playoffs, that's a different animal. So, again, I appreciate regular season success as much as anybody, because you can't get to the playoffs if you can't at least do that.
Right.
But that's just, part one of the process. You got to be good enough and efficient enough so when you get to the playoffs and things really do get tight, when you need that big drive or that big play, you feel confident that you can actually accomplish that.
Well, I can tell you what, Todd, I see what division coach is trying to get to, right? If we can possess the ball, it's kind of like old school Steelers football, really. If we can possess the ball 37 minutes or more, get at least 350 yards of offense, and score 24 points, we're going to win 90% of them games.
It's the other 10% that worries me, Robbie. and seriously, and you know where I'm coming from. It is when we get, look, I know, here's what you would tell me. You'd say, Todd, whoa.
You got to wait till you get in those games, Todd.
Yeah, I know that, Rob. But look, we've had enough seasons together leading seasons that are kind of going like this. The excitement gets ramped up, the momentum gets ramped up, and then we play, like you might say, that kryptonite game in the playoffs where it doesn't really matter what we do our way. We're not going to probably be able to overcome this other team. So I'm trying to get away from that and get to the point with whatever our style of play is will lend itself to better success in the playoffs. Because again, Steeler fans are not, we could go 12-5 every single year, and that would not be enough to satisfy Steeler fans. You know that.
I think we got to get to a level, Todd, where we actually doing this. Then I think we can jump up for a game or two and do something different. Kind of like when we had Ben. It was the same way, right? That first Super Bowl, they came in the playoffs, they changed the whole game plan up. They let Ben lead the way. And he threw us to the Super Bowl, even though we didn't have a good Super Bowl. But leading up to that, we changed our game plan. We went straight throwing the ball. Especially in the second Super Bowl win. The first one, Rob, he was still on the training wheels, man. You need to go look at the stat lines. Yeah. You need to go look at the stat lines in the playoffs.
I will go look at said stat lines. And what I will tell you is if it wasn't for Jerome Bettis and Willie Parker and Hines Ward and Antoine Randall, I don't think Ben would have had that kind of success. It's like if you threw Kenny P back in the day into that mix, he probably would have more success than he is right now. Yeah. Ben had a hell of a cast around him, man.
Yeah, the defense was really good. All right, Todd, game ball on the offense. Man. I got two of them, so if you say one, I'm going to say the other one.
I understand. So, all right, since you're allowing me to go first, I'm going to say Pat Freiermuth.
Right, I figured you don't say Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah.
9 catches, 120?
9 for 120, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Career day.
That's good. I'm gonna go Najee. Right?
That was my number 2.
Najee had 100 yards, and then I think the last play or something, he went backwards 1 yard.
Rob, I'm surprised. I know this is not the way these guys think. Well, they think like this. They just don't usually act on it. I'm surprised Najee didn't come back off the field and was chirping into Eddie Faulkner's ear like, man, I got to get back out there.
Yeah.
I want my 1 yard.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, hell of a game. Really good attitude again coming out of this whole mess with Matt Canada and his comments, after last week's game.
Right.
I know he said what he meant and he meant what he said, but he came out positive and believing in what the new coaches were selling, and he took that to heart on the field. And yeah, I mean, my God, Rob, if you told me that he was going to have, if he'd have a game like that every other game of the season, he'd do that 8 or 9 times a year, man, I would not be complaining at all about Najee being a first-round pick.
No.
If he could have about half his games a year like he did yesterday.
Yeah. I think Najee gonna be all right. He might not get that 5th year. They might renegotiate some things just because Jalen deserves some money. And
right.
They need to split it up a little bit. If he doesn't have a too big an ego and they can renegotiate, he'll be around.
Yeah, that would be fine with me if they could make that happen and keep everybody happy.
Happy, yeah.
Keep the band together. I'm good with that.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to defense, man. The defense is the defense. Even though we missing some guys, but the backups are doing pretty good. Did you see who's that? Tristan Thompson? Is it Tristan Thompson?
It's Trenton Thompson.
Trenton Thompson. Man. That if he don't get tackle right, that's a pick 6. You know what I'm saying? If the guy don't get an arm on him, So
and Casey almost got a couple balls yesterday.
Yeah. Casey, that was a pick 6 if Casey catch that.
Yeah.
He go all the way, he take that all the way.
Close, man.
So defense to me, man, they kind of the least of our worries. I didn't see anything too negative on defense. I mean, you hold them to 10 points. The plays that drive they had the touchdown, it was like 2 or 3 fluky plays, tipping balls, and the guy gets, you know what I mean?
They also had a short field to work with, Rob.
Yeah.
That was one of our lovely special teams faux pas. And we'll get to that when we get to special teams. But they had a short field again, just like in the Cleveland game. Cincinnati scored that touchdown on a short field.
Yeah. So what kind of stood out to you on defense? I have a couple of things that stood out to me. One was JPJ on
Chase.
On Jamar Chase. Man, JPJ is starting to get it. I mean, you going up against these guys and you're a rookie. Man, by the end of the year, he already solid.
I would agree, Rob. I'm pleasantly surprised where he's at. I mean, I fully expect him to get some playing time this year. I didn't think he was going to hop into a starting role this quickly for sure. But it's a good. I like to say that's one of those things you're happy to be wrong about. So happy about his progress again. Still learning the pro game. Still making some, I say basic mistakes, but just mistakes where he's not the speed of the game. He's not there yet. He's really close, but he's not there yet because he is making some mental errors where he's hesitating for just a split second, and he gets caught behind a little bit, and so he does the tug thing with his hands, or he's He's contacting receivers, after 5 yards and getting these knick-knack penalties, or a pass interference penalty. So, hopefully rub some of that out of his game. I know these guys are going to get penalized. The game's set up for them to fail. I totally get it. But yes, very, very happy for him. Happy for obviously conning them and drafting him. He just seems like it was a perfect spot, for him to come to us in. And hope for more of the same. I'm going to say I've been, again, I temper this, Rob, because we're starting to go against teams that are having key offensive players out. So again, we're not going up
quarterback
against,
issues.
Yeah, top end offenses.
Yeah.
But still, man, the run defense the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I cannot. I mean, Rob, before Cam came back, Rob, and I know that's a big part of it. Before Cam came back, we were giving up almost 140 yards a game on the ground. 140. I don't have the number in front of me, but I think over the last 4 weeks, it's well below 100 yards a game.
Right. Well, I think one is Keanu Benton is coming in the form.
That too. I would just thank you for mentioning that. Another young guy.
Yeah, he's coming in the form. I see him all over the place now. And you pair him with Cam, ain't no team running up the middle on us. Not consistently.
Right.
Yeah. And Larry O has been playing good, man. The whole D line has just been energized for some reason when Cam came back.
Yeah, I mean I realized that was a big piece, and again, we lamented that when we realized that Cam was going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
We're still. I'm not saying Keanu is going to be the next Cam, because I'm not willing to make those kind of statements. But hopefully, we can draft another D lineman or two, so that when Cam does retire, it won't be such a shock to the system that we don't have some young bucks that can step up and help fill in the gap. I'm not saying they're going to replace Cam, but maybe between a couple of guys, can bring some of the attributes and leadership that he's brought over the last 12 years.
Yeah.
I definitely, Rob, the D line. This D line group as a whole, even guys that I don't ever even notice them on the field. Guys like Isaiah Loudermilk. It seems like Lee Al's been kind of hit and miss as far as the amount of snaps he gets a game. But just all those guys added up, it's still a little bit better performance based than the guys we had in the previous 3 or 4 year cycle. They did okay, but these guys seem to just stick out a little bit more.
Yeah, plus it helps when your offense is possessing the ball.
Yes.
Defense is refreshed, they energized, they just fresher. Man.
Yeah, so that's my big takeaway. Think about this, Rob. I'm not even talking negative about the secondary in this game, and that never happens.
Well, that might have something to do with Browning.
I think it does. Just like last week.
Right. That's why I think they saving Minka. They letting him heal up all the way. We playing these teams, we really don't need Minka.
Right.
Like Arizona, I don't think we need Minka till Seattle, really.
We'll see. I mean,
but he'll play before then. But I'm saying I don't think they're in a rush to get him back. They want him fresh and ready for the playoffs.
There's no doubt about that, Rob. I mean, you're right. I definitely think he could sit a couple more weeks. It wouldn't be the end of the world. I was a lot more concerned about our linebacking group than I was the secondary.
And the linebacking group, I don't see anything bad happening.
No. They They went to the tight end a little bit yesterday. Obviously, not a lot.
Yeah.
They don't have an Njoku. But you're right, man. It's a patchwork, group right now. But Landon Roberts is doing his best, man,
Yeah.
to fill in the gaps, and the new guys, seem to be. I mean, I know they're not out there yet, so I'm not referring to like a Blake Martinez that was a healthy scratch. He was inactive for the game, but just even the other guys in the group, Michael Walker, I think he's been, more than adequate, coming in and filling in that other spot. Thoroughly grateful to be able to call somebody like that with as much experience as that guy's had, to pull him up off the practice squad. That was a bold move by Con and them, when they signed him to the practice squad.
Yeah. So the only teams you scared of, Todd?
I'm scared of everybody, Rob.
It's Kansas City. I'm talking about in the playoffs. That's the only team that really, you can even say Miami. Last year we played Miami, we held them pretty good. But we Kansas City is the one team that you say is our kryptonite.
Certainly, yes. As long as Patrick Mahomes, are they as scary as they were in the past? No, because they have changed. That team has changed a little bit. But as long as you got Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, and you just, again, our
Pacheco.
background, our Pacheco, our ability to stop tight ends is not very good. The history of that is not very good. So yeah, I'd say Kansas City is number one on my list of kryptonite. If I had to pick a second team, Rob, as far as that goes, I don't know if I would say Miami or not, but I would say they're in the mix. Mm-hmm. We know Baltimore very well. It doesn't mean we're going to beat them, but we know them very well. They know us very well. I hate to say this, but because they really haven't blown people away, man, Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville is going to surprise some people in the playoffs. I could be wrong, but look, they're getting the foundational pieces are there.
Yeah,
you got your elite quarterback, or he's trending to be an elite quarterback. You got a pretty strong back in ATN. You got a number one receiver in Calvin Ridley, and to me, their defense is like the no-name defense from the past. Rob, people can't name any of the guys, yet they put up the numbers almost every week. Now, I know they got pummeled by San Francisco a few weeks ago, but hell, who hadn't?
Yeah.
They've been very consistent this year. So honestly, I'd say Jacksonville's my number two. Now, look, I'm not saying we're going to lose by 18 points to these guys, but I thought they played when they came into Pittsburgh. I think they were pretty damn stout, and everybody is beatable. I get it, but I think Jacksonville's going to be a hard out in the playoffs.
I think we are too. So
okay,
I think we win these next 3 games, we're gonna be in the playoffs. So we 7-4 right now. That'll be at 10-4 with 3 to go. Is that
all
right?
I'm asking? Yeah. Just don't jump ahead, Rob. This This
That's
is
what
not,
we do, Todd.
That's what you do. That's not what I do. This is not fantasy football, man.
All right, who you give a game ball to on defense?
Oh man, this is getting tough. All right, look, I took TJ last week,
Right.
so I'm not taking TJ this week. I'm going to go with Cam just because I love Cam. What can I say?
Yeah.
I don't need statistics to say, hey, that guy played a damn good game. So as long as Cam's on the field, he's top 2 or 3 in my defensive player of the game pretty much every week.
Yeah, give me JPJ, Joey Porter Jr.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, just holding the number 1 receivers and doing a halfway decent job is good for a rookie. Chase didn't kill us. We've been known for Chase to kill us in the past. So he didn't kill us that game. Usually a lot of times you can just throw it up to him and he's going to catch it. So,
but again, they had T. Higgins out. You got to take all this stuff into consideration. But look, the bottom line is the team is playing together. Hopefully the post-game interviews will continue to show that, unlike what we've heard lately. And man, just everybody get on the same page, be positive, start getting some more positive results. That'll increase confidence, which I think will increase execution eventually.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, Todd. We're getting long in the tooth. Special teams.
Tooth. We got teeth in this group.
Yeah. They slowly but surely going away.
And we might have to go sign up to Dan Campbell's unit and go bite some kneecaps.
Yeah. Oh man. Why we don't kick the ball out of the end zone? Our kickoff team has been not playing well the last couple of games.
No. I was not happy at all. And I'm not pointing the finger at Boswell because that's not who I'm talking about. But yeah, man, we're starting to leak on more so, like you said, on kickoff returns than punt returns. But yeah, you just cannot keep giving teams short fields to work with.
Yeah, man. Yeah, who was our special teams coordinator? What's his name?
Danny Smith.
Danny Smith. What's going on?
Here's what happened. That dude ran into him, and I'm serious.
He got a concussion.
No, man, he didn't get a concussion. He tore either his rotator cuff or his labrum in 3 spots. And so he's been hyped up on, I don't even know what those things are called, hydrocodone, Vicodin, something that begins with a Z. I don't know. I think that he took more than he was prescribed, and it made him loopy. So he said, go cover him, and he pointed in the wrong direction. Nah, man, I don't know what it is, but I mean, even like James Pierre didn't have a very good game. Miles Boykin made a mistake and got a penalty on one of those punts or kickoffs. Yeah, excuse me. It was really sloppy yesterday. Again,
the last 2 games been like that. The last 2 games kind of been like that. So they need to get back on track because for most of the season they've been pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Injuries. The only thing I heard is Calvin Austin had a slight ankle injury. I think he'll be all right.
Hopefully so.
Right now, like I said, 7-4, 6 games to go, Todd. Can we sustain this type of output? Or at least close to it?
Only time will tell, Rob. Now, I think you remember, I'm pretty sure I said it on the show. I tried to bet you, and I don't even know if you took the bet or not. Mm-hmm. I told you that the Steelers were not going to score 24 points in a single game the rest of the season.
Oh.
Certainly. Why you look surprised? You don't remember me saying that?
I remember you saying it.
Okay.
But we're going to score 24 points before the end of the year.
And you never took the bait. You want to bet on that?
I was scared because Canada wasn't making it, man. We wasn't going to make it like that.
All right,
if you do it now, I'll take that bet.
Okay, well, good. All right, so that's the bet. Now, I want to preface this. It's not the team scoring 24 points. It's the offense scoring 24 points.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. And we'll talk about
it. Does that include bars or what?
Yeah, yeah, he includes
Okay,
field
okay,
goals. Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll talk about the actual payoff. We'll do that off the air.
Yeah. All right. Divisional opponents: Browns got beat by the Broncos in Denver,
Thank
12 to
God.
29. Thank you for the help.
Yeah.
Ravens beat the Chargers 20 to 10 in Los Angeles. Come on, Chargers, man, y'all. You know the
That
Chargers so soft. They's like wet toilet paper, man. I knew when they played the Rams, I said they ain't gonna be able to beat the Ravens, man. You can't bring that. You can't bring that frappa latte, chocolate into no stadium and play the Ravens.
you know, Rob, this is what happens when you play indoors.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you get soft.
Well, I just think this the way their team is designed and the coaching. I mean, you can be indoors and be a tough team.
You
But
can.
yeah,
It's
look
rare,
at
but yes,
Detroit.
it's possible.
Look at Detroit. So
Yeah, the same Detroit team that got whooped at home on Thanksgiving
yeah.
Day by Jordan Love. Come on, man.
Jordan Love, man. Speaking of, I ain't gonna even talk about Jordan Love, man. We beat him, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah. It was
all
close.
right. Anything else, man? We let the people go out here, man.
Well, did you know that Myles Garrett came out of that game really nicked up? His shoulder was in a sling.
Yeah, I heard that.
Also, their backup quarterback
Got
got
knocked
hurt.
out. Yeah.
So, this is again. We know this is a game of attrition, Rob. And
Yeah.
I don't wish anything bad on anybody, even Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
But if that team gets nicked up anymore, I mean, they could be in a hard spot here in just a couple more weeks.
Well, once they quarterback, let's get real, Ty. Once your starting quarterback, I already counted them and the Bengals out. I don't care what their record is now. I don't think they have the type of coach we got that can sustain a level of success and still get in the playoffs like that. I don't think they have those type of coaches. Now, Tomlin, he can do that with a backup probably because he's done it.
Yeah, he has.
So, yeah, these other coaches, I can't see them doing it. One, they don't have the defense what Cleveland does, but I don't think that coach is good as Tomlin. I don't think so. He might be good on offense.
Certainly not yet. I mean, yeah, he's in the early stages of his career, but I think he's a pretty decent coach. Rob, one last thing before we go, because it's not on the outline. Give me your top 3 head coach firings you see coming up between now and the end of the season, minus Frank Reich already getting fired this morning by Carolina. Just curious.
We just talked about one, the Chargers head coach.
Absolutely, Brandon Staley.
He gone.
To me,
maybe New Orleans coach might be gone.
Yeah, because I don't think that'd be a big deal to anybody if Dennis McCoy got let go. To me, the Jets head coach.
No. The Jets, that'd be a mistake for the Jets to do that because I think he's a good coach. I think he was forced into taking Zach Wilson.
Oh yeah, the owner is
so
totally.
Why you gonna make that man fall on your sword?
Just because he can, Rob. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Man,
because he can.
Because he would have a job the next day.
Oh,
he's a good coach, man. He's a good head coach.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just I'm just wondering if this Woody Johnson, if he's anything like David Tepper in Carolina, who just wakes up one morning and goes, "I think I'm going to clean house."
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe. Well, the Giants might, but Dayball is a good coach. I think they just need to retool how they doing stuff.
Again, ownership made some boneheaded decisions, like re-signing Daniel Jones. My God, and then trying to penny pinch Saquon Barkley, and that guy's like 50, 60% of your offense. You're going to nickel and dime him, and then you're going to throw money at a guy like Daniel Jones, who has done nothing to date.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And you're going to pay him $40 million. I wanted to I brought this whole conversation up, Rob, to say, even though I get mad at Tomlin sometimes, or I get mad at our conservative way that we handle things sometimes, at least we don't do stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
That is just, I mean, some of the decisions that these GMs make, I'm just like, are you really watching the game? Do you not know what you're looking at? It's crazy, man.
And then sometimes owners make you pick guys.
Now that's true too.
And then fire you for picking a guy.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous to me. That would make me upset.
Well, hell yeah. make you want to leave.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna run down a few of these, Todd, I'm gonna run down a few of these since you asked.
All right.
Washington coach, he probably gonna be gone.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt he's gone.
Tampa Bay coach might be gone.
It's certainly possible.
Patriots.
Yeah,
they might not fire him.
It won't be called a firing. Yeah, exactly. He's going to retire. Yeah.
Saints, Falcons, Cardinals, and Raiders. Depend on how that coach Pierce does, but I think he gonna end up going get another coach. I think at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And the Bears.
Yeah.
So Adam Schefter put out a deal earlier. They said like 7 to 10.
Yes, that's what I'm just going to tell you
this year. Yeah,
they were saying the same thing on the NFL Network. There could be as many as 10 coaches.
God, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Third of the league.
Exactly. Third of the league. So that's when again I count my blessings. I'm a Steeler fan, and I don't have to deal with this. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Type of yo-yo, whatever, just circus you want to call it, that some of these teams are basically like. They're like a circus. You just pay to see something shiny for a couple of years, and then it's gone.
Right. Yeah. That's why Steelers fans should be happy with Tomlin. Even though they mad at him sometimes, that's okay. He make mistakes. Everybody's not perfect.
Exactly.
So, he don't make a lot of major mistakes. That's the main thing.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Todd. Everybody like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing. Comment what you do like, what you don't like, or just to say hi.
Exactly. We want to be able to say hi to the people, the rest of the Steeler Nation.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Todd, without further ado, here we go, Steelers.
Here we go.
Who?